We're looking at one class of 8th graders attending the Bethune-Fitzgerald K-8 school in Detroit's Fitzgerald West Side neighborhood. For many students here, it'll be one stop in many, because when it comes to schools, they've got their pick.
I went to Stewart Academy, then I went to Noble, McKenzie, then I came here to Bethune.
Oh man, then they went to Murphy. Then he went to Comian, then he went to Durfee.
I've been to Schultz, Bethune, and Murphy.
Chastity has been to 3 different schools: Oakman, Coleman Young, and this school. Half of them went to Parker Elementary, which closed down the following year.
For 1st through 3rd grade, I went to Williams Elementary. That isn't around because it was burnt down. 3 schools. 3.
Murphy, Bethune, Globe Preparatory Academy.
This one, then went back to my old school, then back to this.
Have you seen a lot of kids come and go here? Or just?
A lot of kids come and go.
What do you mean, like 2 or 3?
No, like 20, 30, 40.
A recent Wayne State University study shows about 1 in 3 elementary students switch schools every year, many even in the middle of the year. In Detroit, students often don't attend their neighborhood schools. It's hard. There have been nearly 200 school closings in the recent past, adding the sweeping schools of choice policy in the past couple of decades, and that has led to more students on the move to other public, private, and charter schools around town and beyond the city's borders. With the constantly changing faces in classrooms, it's become a bigger challenge for everyone.
Educators everywhere know that transiency is a problem.
Every year it gets worse. From a teacher standpoint, it's hard to build a foundation.
In order for the cell to divide, some things need to take place. Tell me one thing that it does before it can do that.
I believe that it would affect them to a great degree. If you find yourself moving from one place to another, really, how can you learn a craft or even develop a certain amount of skills if you have no consistency?
You get new kids come in. How does that affect the class and how you guys are learning?
Oh my God, the class, they just like to pay attention to him or her, and they won't do their work.
It's something that kind of throws them off, because now the focus is not on their work, it's on them trying to make the connection.
You've been to 2 schools, you've been to this one twice.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get used to the work?
Oh, it took me, like the first day I got there, it took me like a month and a half to get it.
And you got passive and bases on each side.
Bethune-Fitzgerald isn't the worst case regarding this churning of students. Chalkbeat Detroit and Bridge Magazine report it's fairly typical, and so are the reasons. Housing and poverty are just some of them.
So when you get to the core of the issue, it's about the economy. So if a parent can't afford the rent or their mortgage, then they're going to move. You know, if a landlord comes in, it doesn't matter. When they evict and they have to go.
I was out of work for a while. I didn't really know how I was gonna get my kids back and forth to school.
It comes from a lot of different things. You know, we're talking demographics now. You got where parents might have had to switch up because they couldn't afford the home. It came from jobs switching up, so parents had to move in and out accordingly to what was best for the family. And this program could be either for a household or either a community group or like here back to school.
Monica Tarver leads the Bethune-Fitzgerald Parent-Teacher Association. She's set out a nice breakfast spread, hoping to attract more parents. 6 years ago, this room would be packed. They'd have fundraisers. But now she has only 15 parents who are reliable members of the PTA.
A lot of parents, they want to drop their kids off and keep rolling.
Right.
Instead of, you have a handful.
Do you think that's because they might not be here all that long?
I don't know. I never thought about it like that. What is the buzzword in that set of directions?
You said you seen 20, 30, 40 kids coming and going. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. They might just learn something, but they didn't finish what the teacher was teaching, and they got kicked out, or their parents made them leave or something. So I think that's a bad thing. If they're not gonna know it at their new school.
The moves are not only disruptive, but research shows students who change schools even once have significantly lower test scores, have more behavioral problems, and are more likely to drop out of school.
Kids who come in your classroom who has not been part of the learning process, where you're developing minds. It's hard not only for testing or for knowledge purposes, it's hard even to develop that culture in your school.
There are 100,000 school-aged children in Detroit, according to Detroit Public Schools Community District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti. Half of them attend DPSCD schools, the other half go somewhere else. With the schools of choice model now part of Detroit's education culture, many here turn again to the remedy that seems to be the hardest to attain: better funding for the schools.
At our last staff meeting, we were looking at the #1 in the nation, which is Massachusetts. And so I know that they allocate more money to their students. And so that school to prison pipeline, they're taking money away and they're investing in their students. We definitely need to do more of that, to have the resources, be it again a bigger attendance department, after school programs, whatever the families need, because that's where you have to start. You have to support the family, and then it gets to the student, and then they can flourish.
I see an end when we all come together and we get some money from somewhere, federally, from the local level. We need something to help implement these programs, so we won't have this problem again.